Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. My name is Karen Kong, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to my This or That Thursday. So every week I post at least 2 cards in my group, and I ask everybody to vote on a card for me to make live on Thursday mornings at 9. So today we are making a set of cards. Usually I just post 2 cards to choose from, but I actually chose a technique this week that involves stacking, shuffling, and cutting, and you end up with 4 cards in this particular technique. The other choice was to make 3 cards, but nobody chose that one. That was my favorite. Let me just quickly show you that. Okay, so the other set of cards were 3, and I love them. I think they look really elegant. Good morning, Sandra. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, I really like these ones. I thought they looked really awesome. So I really like these ones. Plus, they use 6x6 sheets, and there's pretty much no waste because the stuff you cut off, like you use for the back of the envelope and for decorating the inside of the card. Like this. I'll have to post some more pictures perhaps. Yeah, but today we're going to do the technique that makes 4, and it was pretty much unanimous. Hi Diane, nice to have you joining. Okay, so I think I'm ready to go. I have a couple minutes late because I was, fiddling with technology. So when I go live, there's a couple of options to do some stuff. And I didn't know what the difference was between pressing OK and post in group. So I don't know what's the difference. So I decided I would go with one option. I entered a description for the first time, and then my phone because my phone was turned landscape, I couldn't see all the words. So then I had to turn it so that I could see the words, and I turn it back. Oh, hi Tanya, you joined in for just the right time. Yeah, so I turned it back so I could actually try and see the words that I was typing, and then I went to go live, and my description disappeared again, so I had to type it in again. And again, I had those 2 options to say OK or post in group. I don't know what the difference is, but I guess I'll see. I have no idea what I did. I think I'll have to do a little bit more research on how to set up a live. It's just, I don't know what's up. Anyways, all that to say, I'm ready to go. I'm going to set up, and we're going to get started on crafting. So I'm just going to set up my phone on my mount. Oh, and I just realized it's facing the wrong way. Yeah, so I'm going to set up my phone, and I'm going to need a minute or so. So just don't get sick. Close your eyes, because there's going to be a lot of moving around. Okay, just a second. All right, here we go. I forgot I had this set up for my to do some recording, and I recorded in portrait mode, and forgot that I was still in portrait mode. Oh, and I forgot to set up my machine. Sorry, and I can't see anybody's comments right now. Just give me a second. Okay. Oops, wrong option. Okay, now I can see. All right. Okay, Tanya's having issues with technology as well. Oh, all right, we're good now. I think I'm good. Okay, so here's the cards that I made with this technique. So here's one. I could have used the same design for all of them. I cased it from another demonstrator, I think Cindy Brumbaugh, and she used the same, I didn't have the same set that she did, so I had to use what I had, and I used the Whimsical Trees set. So I did something a little bit different for each one, but you can definitely use the same one, for each if it works. And then it would save you a bunch of time having to decide, how to decorate the front of the card after, right? But for this one, sorry, for this session this morning, I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. Same technique, same DSP. I'm going to change the card base. Okay, so I have my 4 card bases here. I have 2 Real Red, 1 Crumb Cake, and 1 Mossy Meadow, which is the color I used for the original. And I have my mats. So you notice that, here, let me just bring these back. Okay, so the matting I used for this set is all white. Okay, so I used white for all of these. And you'll notice, actually, I just wanted to point out, for some of the cards, I actually didn't leave a space between the DSPs, which is what Cindy did. She just put the DSP right next to each other. And then I thought, I wonder how it's going to look if I space them out just a little bit, so I have a little bit of a border. And that's an option too, and I like that too, because then you end up with a 1/16 of an inch border all around, which is different. So you can vary your design. So I wanted to use the different card bases and a different mat for one of them, because the Crumb Cake, I thought I would use a red mat and see how that works. And then I have my DSP. So today's DSP, you know, because of what I had left over from this particular set, which I think is the Heartwarming Hugs DSP. It retired several years ago, but I really liked it. And I had 2 packs and I still had some left. But so this is what we're using today. And here's the measurements for the cutting. Okay, so I will post a picture of that in the comments after we're done the live crafting today so that you can see it better. But this gives me my guide as to how we're going to cut. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 pieces of 3 3/4 by 5 inch DSP. I'm going to make sure that they're all the right way up, which doesn't matter in this case because they're non-directional, but if you do have a directional piece of DSP, you're going to make sure that your picture is right side up in this stack. Okay. So I'm going to take this stack, I'm going to cut it according to my template here, okay, and then we're going to just shuffle all the pieces so that we have a different set for every single mat that we're going to create, and then we'll glue it all down. Okay, so pretty easy. I think the hardest part was choosing the DSP, really. Okay, so we'll just get started. I'm going to just make some room on my table, and I'll bring in my paper trimmer. And I did not know that my paper trimmer would be able to cut 4 pieces of paper, but it does. I've never tried more than 2. I usually just limit it to 2, but 4 was okay. All right, so I'm going to put my template here. Okay, I can see my screen is just slightly crooked and it's bothering me. I don't know if I can fix it on the fly. Does that look better? No, it's crooked the other way now. Okay, I know, I'm being picky. Okay. All right. So anyways, here's the template. So I'm going to take the stack and I'm going to measure 2.5 inches over. Okay, thanks, Diane. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that they're stacked really nicely together. And that's 2.5 inches there. Okay, so I'm going to cut at 2.5 inches. Okay, let's see if that made it through. I'm pretty sure it did. I went twice, so. All right, so I'm going to take this piece out. Okay, so now I need to make a cut at 2 3/4. So I'm going to turn this sideways. And I'm going to cut at 2 3/4. Okay, so I'm not going to lose my order. I'm going to leave them like that. And then, so now I need to bring back my skinny piece here, and I'm going to cut at 1 3/4. Yeah, you might need a fresh cutting blade if you're going to cut through many layers. I just put a new one on recently, so I was getting a lot of rough edges, and I figured it was time. Okay, so 1 3/4. Okay, so I have my 4 sections now. Easy peasy. Okay, now I'm going to bring out my mats. So these are just regular 4 by 5 1/4 inch mats. I'm just going to set them out so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we've done the stack, we've done the cutting, and now it's time for the shuffle. Okay, so we're going to start at the top right, and I'm just going to take the topmost piece, one layer, and move it to the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I got one piece only. Okay, there's one. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next stack, and I'm going to take 2 pieces and move those to the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to take this last stack and move 3 pieces to the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to take the top layer of every pile and move it onto a mat. Okay, so one from here, one from here, one from here. Okay, and I'm going to do that until all the mats have a set of DSP. So there we go, there's your combination. Now I might want to switch it up, because what I'm going to say is that I can see I have my one piece of red mat, and this piece of red is kind of fading into it. So I don't really want the biggest piece of red on a red background. I think I'm going to change it I'm going to switch these two up so that I have more green and it's more visible. It pops more. So let me just switch it up. Okay, I think that pops more like that. Yeah, I think I like that better. All right, so now all I need to do is I'm going to adhere everything down. And I think this time, just for simplicity's sake, I'm not going to spend time aligning everything to try and give that white border. I'm just going to put everything exactly next to each other. It'll be easier that way. So I'm just going to move 3 of them off, and we'll work with one at a time. This is the easy peasy part. So now where did I put my stamp and seal? Okay. So I'm just going to, actually, you know what? I like laying it out ahead of time so that I know that everything is spaced out properly. Because sometimes if you put that first piece down and it's on a very tiny bit of an angle, everything else will line up against it, and then you'll realize when you put in some of the other pieces that you're not straight, right? Okay, so I can tell I have a little bit of space on the right side, but that's pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to start gluing things down. So we had a beautiful, beautiful stretch of weather. I don't know wherever you are, but in Ottawa, it has been gorgeous for nearly 2 weeks, and we've had like summer weather. So here I am in, you know, t-shirt and shorts in October, and the air conditioning is still on. Just amazing. But tomorrow the rain starts, which really sucks. I mean, we were very lucky for, you know, 2 weeks to have this extra stretch of summer, but now it's time to pay the piper. It's going to be really fall. Okay, I'm just moving that piece a little bit over because I know I have a little bit too much room on the left side. And Thanksgiving is this weekend here in Canada, and I was kind of hoping that I would be able to barbecue because I was going to barbecue some stuff for our Thanksgiving dinner. Oops, I need my tweezers, I think. That's okay. Yeah, that's going to be tricky. I'm just going to hope and pray that it's not raining when I need to go have something barbecued. Oh, see, even though I laid it out, I can see that my piece is a little bit crooked. I'm just going to try and, oh, there we go. I can turn it just a little bit to make it straighter. Okay. Yes, Diane, yeah, we just have to be happy we got an extra couple weeks of summer there. I just wish for Thanksgiving weekend, you know, because I'm having friends, I'm sure lots of people are having friends and family over, and I just wish that it was nicer to be outside, or, you know, nicer weather, period, just for Thanksgiving. Are you hosting Thanksgiving this year, Diane, or are you, is somebody else hosting? Who else is hosting? We aren't going back to Toronto because we were just in Toronto and for my sister's birthday, and we decided not to go back again for Thanksgiving because it was just so close together. Okay, so that's one done. So we are actually staying in Ottawa, and we have friends, one family coming over for dinner for Thanksgiving, so that'll be fun. I don't do turkey. I just, I don't know what I would do all the leftovers, because we have one person in our house, in our family, who's not a big fan of poultry. He doesn't like chicken and turkey, so it would be a lot of turkey to eat when one person's not really keen on it. So we have ham. We're doing a ham. Okay, I'm just lining things up. This might be, okay. I think my red is good. I'm going to line things up with the red. Sandra, you're just going to do your, does that mean you're going to have a turkey still, though? I think you still make Kurt turkey, even though it's just you guys, eh? And then is it like turkey everything for the next couple weeks? Okay, here's one. So this is like actually pretty satisfying doing this. It's not the funnest part, but the nice thing is when you're done, you have 4 patterns ready to go for your card bases. And it's really, really easy. I'm just making sure it's lined up again. You know me. Oops. Just reading your comments. Yes, so, oh, okay, so ham for you as well, and then turkey at Christmas, right? There we go. Yeah, so you can use this with any DSP, Diane. Like you know, you just need the right set. That's what I said, is that picking the right combination was probably the only hard part about this technique, was just choosing the DSP and the cardstock that you want to use. And then from there, you know, once you've created your base, then you just decorate the front. Okay, so let me start with this piece. I just need one piece to kind of anchor all the rest of them and make sure that everything else is straight. See, there's too much space. I know, I'm very particular that way. I can see when it's off and it bugs me. I'll try to let that go. You know, when it's done, but when I can see that I can still fix it, I will fix it. I will try. But you know, there's just so much of my stash that I want to use. I mean, I have so much paper that, and because Cindy had demonstrated with this one, I just decided it would be easier to follow her lead and use the same paper. And I use like, this is a different combination too from hers, but it's the same DSP pack, so. I feel like I'm running out of Stampin' Seal. That's why it's kind of starting to get harder to get it to pull properly. Let me just double check that this is the right way. Because it is slightly longer on one side, so I don't want to put it the wrong orientation and then realize I've stuck it down wrong. Which Christmas DSP are you using, Diane? Or you're planning to use? Because I'm thinking maybe the Merry, Bold, and Bright would work well with this. That's the new one. I have that one too, and I'm planning on using it for something else. Okay, that's 3. We're almost there, folks. Hang in there with me. Last one. Okay. Oops. I tried doing this with the Lights Aglow DSP. I also love that one. However, I just could not figure out, like, it didn't look right to me. Those pieces have a lot of like shine on them. There's and I hate to cover up the shiny part. And the other sides, there were some that were really nice, but they just somehow did not mesh well together, and I did not choose to use them. Okay. The Joy of Christmas and Shining Christmas. Shining Christmas is the one with the gold foil, is that right? Because I think I have that one. And Joy of Christmas, is that the one, is that the matching one for that suite? I think with the kind of the desert scenery and the navy blue, Night of Navy. This one, Tanya, is, it was Heartwarming Hugs. It's retired. It was retired like several years ago, but it is a fun one. Diane says Joy of Christmas is traditional colors, lots of holly. Oh, okay, I don't have the right one in my mind then. But Merry, Bold, and Bright might work really well with this too, because it has a lot of like patterns, not scenery. Okay, here we go. Nope, this way. There we go. All right, look at that. Okay, so now I have 4 bases to work with. Okay, so now I have to get my card bases out. We'll mix and match. So these are just the regular card base. It's an 8.5 and 11 by 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, cardstock, and I cut them in half. I have 2 red, I have 1 Crumb Cake, and I have 1 Mossy Meadow, which is the right size, but I didn't score it yet. So I'm just going to score that first. and then we'll mix and match and see which ones look good together. Okay, this one was already folded. I had it stored away. And then Real Red. I am running low on Real Red. I've been using it a lot for all the Christmas stuff I've been making lately. I used it for the one horse sleigh class that I did recently. But I have more coming, thank goodness. My order is arriving tomorrow, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to try to decide. So this one I meant for the Crumb Cake. So that one definitely is for Crumb Cake. Let's see. I'm going to pick one with a bigger piece of red in it for the Mossy Meadow. And then these two for my Real Red. So the other thing I have to decide is which way to put them on. And I think I might turn it this way. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's see. I think, again, so I have kind of an idea what to decorate the front with. So at this point, it's free reign. You can do whatever you like. I did a different design on each of these ones, but I do want to use the same design for each of this set, so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time, and it makes it faster, right, for our crafting. And I'm not gluing it down yet in case I want to wrap some ribbon around before I glue it down. So I'm not sure if I want them to be portrait or landscape. You know what? I think I like it this way. Did I do that for the other ones? You know what? I think for all the other ones, I put the skinnier side on the left. No, I did one where it was on the right. So, but I think for the majority of these, I may put it left. What do you ladies think? Should I keep this one like this, just for something different? I don't know. Yeah, maybe just for this one, I'll keep it. I'll keep it this way, just for something different. So let's glue these down. Oh, do I want to put any ribbon? I do have an idea. Okay, so I did make these little embellishments, these little trees with the Whimsical Trees. So this is what I want to use it with, and I want to put a sentiment on a tag next to it. So that's what I'm working with to make these cards. So I think if it sits there and I put a sentiment there, it would look good. Whereas if it's like this, perhaps I would have to put it like this. Yeah, I don't think I need a ribbon. What do you think? I feel like it is perhaps missing something. I don't know. Maybe I'll put the ribbon just behind it instead. Okay. Feel free to join in and give me some suggestions. Okay. Because I think I am. Oh, I can see that my tear and tape is pretty much at the end. I see the red right there. So I'm going to get my tear and tape out instead. Sorry, my Stampin' Seal is running out. My tear and tape is not. So that's what I'm going to use for this. You know, I use all the different adhesives at different times. I do use glue. I do like using glue. I just sometimes I just have a preference for Stampin' Seal. Sometimes it's easier to use the tear and tape, depending. Like if I have a card front, like let's say my card front that I'm preparing had like a bunch of embellishments on it, and I was putting it on, adhering it to my card base last, I would probably use tear and tape, only because I didn't want to press so hard with the Stampin' Seal when the front already has like stuff that's making it bumpy, you know. So, and the tear and tape is actually the most economical of all the adhesives. But like I said, it just depends on what situation I'm using it for, and Stamp and Seal is definitely faster. But then Tear and Tape is actually perfect for adhering some of the ribbon. Because the ribbon is sometimes they're exactly the right width for adhering ribbon behind something. Just reading Tanya's comment. Yeah, some ribbon behind and doing one the opposite. Yes. Okay. Good. Doing one the opposite way it'll be good to change it up. And yeah, it's much easier not to use directional DSP for sure. But it was doable. You just have to think about how it's going to end up looking, because if you cut especially if you cut if there's an animal or something partway through the scene and you cut him in half, it's not going to look very good. But on my other cards there, the demonstrator who used that DSP, the One Horse Sleigh DSP, for the other cards that I did, she did include the fox scene, and she cut it so that her fox was in the middle bottom section, and it worked out. But you just have to be aware when you plan your cutting that it is going to be the right cut in the right spot, and you're not going to accidentally cut through something you don't want to lose. Oh, it's stuck to my finger. Okay. So instead of taking an entire hour today to make one card, I'm actually going to end up with 4, which is amazing. And a good way to get a whole bunch of Christmas cards ready really quickly. All right. Okay, I'm curious, what made you ladies decide to choose this pattern over the set that made 3? Because I do so love these. I really like these ones. What was it that made you want to choose the set of 4? I know there's an end on the take your pick tool that would help me get these up. Why did I not use it? Well, this is the spatula end, but I've seen people use these. Let me just see if this works better. I guess it does work. It worked really well. Like, I don't have to get my fingernail, try to get my fingernail underneath that. I like that. Oh, Sandra says more cards. Sheer volume. Oh, I need to push it up a little bit more. I realized, did you guys ever realize that an 8.5x11 cardstock is sometimes a little bit longer. Did you ever realize that? Because like I realized that a while back that, you know, I would cut sheets in half. So the first half would be exactly measured, and then I would assume that the remaining half was exactly the other remaining bit. So if I cut an 8.5x11 sheet in half, I expected both halves to be 5.5 inches, but I just discovered that the last half was sometimes just like a 1/16 of an inch longer. I didn't realize that. They're not perfect sometimes, so it actually is good to actually measure it out. Okay, so there's my 4 card bases, and let's get out my embellishments. Okay, so I will show you how I made these, but I did go ahead and create 3 more just to save time, so you wouldn't have to sit through all of that. Okay, so I have a little mat for my circle, so it's real red, and I have my Christmas tree cut out in Pear Pizzazz, which I believe is a retired color. And then there's white. Oh, and I use the new Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder to emboss the background, just to give it a little bit, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see this? A little bit more texture just behind it without overwhelming the tree. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut that out. I need to get my cut and emboss machine, and I need to get the big one because the embossing folder requires the big machine. So let me just get this out of the way, and then we'll bring over the machine. Okay, let me get this underneath. Actually, you know what I'm going to do first? So, okay, here's another trick that I've got for you. So I noticed when I cut my layering circles, my layering circles on my machine, and every machine is different, the tightness of the rollers is different. I noticed that when I cut out my circles, I ended up with an edge, and that happens with other dies too, but I notice this every single time with my layering circles. You can see, like on my trees, can you see this? There's like an impression of the edge of the die, right? So that happens with my layering circles, and I don't want it on the inside of my circle. So what I did was I changed up the layering. So I took out my number 2 mat, okay, so this one, I took it out, and I have my cutting plate, and I'm going to use the number 4 plate, which is normally used with just the 3D embossing folders, and that gives me a circle without the impression of the edge. Now I just need to find my circles. Okay, so here's my circles. I have a white one and a red one. Okay, so oh my gosh, Tanya says she has 64. Holy smokes. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so here we go. So it doesn't work with all the dies well, because if you need something that has a lot of little pieces in between, like let's say something like this, like with all the little holes in there, this would not work well because it doesn't cut like, it doesn't press as hard, obviously, right? So you don't get the nice clean, not clean, but you know, all the little itty bitty pieces don't come out well. But for a plain circle, this works. Okay, so see, now I get like a circle without any impression around the edges. So that's my trick. Okay, so let's put those aside. And I still need to cut my tree and the gold trim. So I'm going to put back my number 2 plate. Okay. And cut out some gold trim for my tree. Tanya, that's a lot of cards that you make. Do you send to, I guess you have maybe you have a large family to send to and you have lots and lots of friends to send to? That is a lot of cards. That's very impressive. Even just like writing and signing all of them, that takes a long time too. Okay, I'm just gonna poke out the gold piece. I'm looking for my stylus. Where's my take your pick tool? Here we go. I'm just poking it out. There we go. And I'm trying not to stretch it when I take it out, because it will, the paper does kind of stretch out of shape sometimes if you pull too hard. Okay. All right, so I've got those pieces. The last thing I need to do is emboss this circle. So I need to adjust my place again. And here is the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. So I'm just going to put it part way down here, and I want to get a little bit of the snowflake like on the side there where I know it's going to be visible around the tree. I think I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. I want a little bit more snow down at the bottom. Let's see. I think that's probably good. Move it over just a tad more. All right. Let's get the top plate. So cute. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to move these out of the way now. Okay, so let's just glue these down. Okay, and I'm going to glue my garland onto my tree. I'm just putting tiny dots of glue on. I don't want them to show when I press down the garland. So I'm trying not to put down too big of a dot, just a tiny dot. Definitely need tweezers for these. I just need to press on it until it stays. Oh, Tanya, this is the paper I used for the garland is actually gold paper I have in my stash from pre-Stampin' Up days. Shh. I do have some other gold. I have other golds in my stash too that is Stampin' Up, but I like this one. And it's no particular brand. I don't even know if they sell it anymore. It's just something I've had in my stash for my scrapbooking for years and years. So I'm just using up bits and pieces of it. Okay. And I had... Don't tell anybody. Okay, so I have, like, when I did, like, the tidings and trimmings class a couple years ago, I had lots of tiny bits of paper left of the gold, and I didn't want to waste any of it, so I actually punched out ahead of time all these tiny little stars and tag reinforcements for the holes. You see these ones? All of these, like all the little pieces I couldn't bear to waste, especially the gold, so I went and just cut them all out so that I would have them on hand, and it's come in handy quite often. Yes, Sandra, you would remember. Lots of tiny little pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this on here, right at the bottom. Oh, I don't want to cover up my snowflake, so I want the snowflake to be up there. So I'm gonna aim for it to be here. Embellishments. Okay, what kind of embellishments? You mean like the pearls? I do still have festive pearls. I could add little ball ornaments or something. Let's assemble this first. Let's see. I want to leave room for my star at the top because it takes up a little bit of room. It's pretty big. Oh, shoot. It's a pretty big star, relatively, to the tree. Okay, so here, because it has to sit kind of on top of my tip of my tree, I will actually cut a piece of dimensional, and I will cut it in half. So I have 2 pairs of scissors, snips that is. So I have a pair of Stampin' Up! Snips, which I keep for cutting ribbon, paper, fussy cutting. And then I have my other older pair of snips that part of my stash, and I use them for cutting sticky things like blue dots and dimensionals. Okay, so let's put that back. This actually is a sticker, so I'm going to take the sticker part off so that the backing off, so that the dimensional just sticks a little bit better because it's so tiny. Okay, I should use this. You'll be able to see it better, and it won't stick to my tabletop if I'm on here. There we go. Well, it's busy sticking to me everywhere it's not supposed to stick. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to stick it on the top edge. I'm going to leave room for the tip of my tree. There we go. All right. There we go. So now it sits flat, because if I didn't put that dimensional behind it, it would kind of angle down and not look quite right. Okay, so yeah, Diane, what kind of embellishments are you thinking? Now that I've got this, and I'm going to have to stamp a sentiment too, so I am thinking I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this sentiment, Let Your Heart Be Light, and also cut it into just a straight tag. We'll see how that looks. If I use this one, if I do it like this, perhaps. Okay, let's cut the tag, and let's see how that works first. We'll stamp and cut the tag. I have a strip of white, and I need a block. Look at me, Sandra. I am going to stamp this freehand. Can you imagine? Freehand. No stamparatus. My stamparatus still has, oh, Diane's saying a decoration for the front, maybe a label. Do you mean like this, like the embellishment? Okay, I'm just going to use my grid to help me line up my stamp, because I know that the front sticker may not look exactly the same. Let's hope this works out. Okay, so let's stamp it in, I don't know, Mossy Meadow or Real Red. I think for this one, Real Red, because it's going to be across here, I think. So I'm going to go with the Real Red. I know, Sandra, freehand. That means if I make a mistake or if it's not dark enough, that's it. I have to start use another strip of paper, which, I mean, like, let's be honest, all of us have these little half-inch, quarter-inch strips of paper, like, out the wazoo. I have piles of them. Lots of room to make, like, sentiments. Oh, yeah, I wish they would have a die to just cut this out. Okay, so let's see how this turns out. I do love my Stamparatus for stamping sentiments, but it's all still set up. Oh, look at that. Okay, not bad. I can see that it's kind of heading downward to the right. So I'm going to try again. But it's clear. I'm going to angle it up just a little bit more this time. Actually, I should have lined it up with my grid. See, because I knew that I had lined up my stamp with my grid. So anyways, that worked out. I think I'm okay with that. That looks good. I'm just going to clean off my stamp. All right, let's cut this into a tag. And we'll see how it looks. I'm wondering if I should trim it down to be skinnier. What do you think? I think it might be better skinnier. So I'm gonna trim it down to be even skinnier so that it's right around the words. And I could not do this with my old trimmer. I know I say this often, but truly I would not be able to do this with the old trimmer at all. That would not be an option. Okay, because it's so small, I'm trying my best to line it up properly, and because there's only one guide point at the top. Oh, I don't need this one. Okay. And I'm going to trim this side down a tiny bit too. Trying to let go without it sticking to my finger and then not stay straight. There we go. That turned out pretty good. Okay, so as you know, I know there's like there's a little bit of a lip on the edge of the paper where it was cut. So I like to smooth that down. Just gives it a little bit more of a finished look. Okay, so now I'm going to flag the end. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter before I flag it. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's do the arranging. So this is not my usual style. I like to have everything planned out ahead of time. I know how it's going to look, but this time I'm kind of winging it. So be patient with me, please. Okay, so this one, I think I want it to lie over the join here, but it's too long, I think, on the left side. There's too much white. It's covering up too much of the tree, I think. And then I'm going to have to move the flagging over too, I think. Yeah. Okay, so let's just cut this a little bit shorter. And yes, this flagging is going to have to be moved in. I've never done this before, where I have to adjust where the flag is. But let's give it a try. Okay, not bad. All right. I think that looks better. It's not so long. Yeah. Okay, so I need some kind of embellishment. Let me go back and see. Okay, so I have, let's see. Nope. I was looking for my embellishments. so I have these, which I think are current still. There's red underneath there, but I've used a lot of those. And I have red ribbon, which I could put behind here. Let me just show you. Like this one, right? Just like that. I think that would look nice too. I feel like I could use some little balls on the tree, but that can go on last. Let's just see here. I think I will add the just like a ribbon behind here, gold ribbon. Tanya says gold. I don't know if I have, I was looking for gold ribbon yesterday and I did not notice. Oh wait, I do. Let's see. Is this gold? Yes, this is gold. Oh, maybe that would work. It's not as wide as the red, but maybe that would work. I also have this gold. This is it's a vanilla and gold ribbon. That would work too, I think. Okay, let's choose from that. What do you guys say? All right, what do you guys say? This one, the vanilla with the gold, or the gold, just plain gold? Let me just see. I feel like this one's too thin. I think it's too thin for this particular what I want to use it for. I want it to make more of an impact. I think the red or this one. Okay, let's try it with the vanilla and gold. Yeah, Diane says vanilla and gold. I think I'll get a few votes for vanilla and gold. Okay, let's try that. So I'm just going to put it behind here, and it's just going to be folded like that, right? So I'm just going to cut. All right, great. You guys agree. Let's cut this. I need to trim the edge of that one too. Whoops. Okay, I just need to cut off some, and we'll figure out. Oh, I should be using my other ones. Okay, these ones stick because they are sticky. They have sticky stuff on them, so I'm just going to go back to using my paper snips so I can trim the edge clean. I think that one's actually okay. All right, so I'm going to put Stampin' Seal on the back here. Oh boy, let's see if there's any left, if I have enough. I kind of don't like to press down when I have embellishments on the front, actually. I'm going to use my tear and tape, so I don't have to press. I don't want to press on my embossing and my tree, so it's unfortunate, but okay, so I need actually a bunch of tape back here for the ribbon to stick to. And I don't know exactly where the ribbon's going to stick to, so I just put a fair amount on, and then I can adjust the, I'm free to adjust where I place my ribbon. Whoops, I don't know. Okay, I think that'll be good for now, unless I find that I need a little bit more in that spot there, but let's take this off first. This tip is quite useful for this. Taking the backings off. press that down a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, if the backing's not coming up, I know it's because I haven't pressed the sticky part down enough to the paper. Okay, so now I'm just going to hold this up. Let's see how this works. And arrange it like this. That works well. Do you think it's a bit long? I think it's a little bit long. I might trim it. I'm just going to shorten it a little bit, the loop. So that's the beauty of using the tape, is that, you know, it doesn't make it messy like it would be if it was glue. And then I can readjust, you know, I've done readjustments like several times before just to fix what. Okay, so I'm going to cut these. These are a little bit long. Oops. There we go. All right, so I think generally it'd be like this. This is where I'm going to lay it out. Where did my sentiment? Oh, here. Okay, so like this, my sentiment will be on top, I think. Not behind. Yeah, on top. All right, so dimensionals. I'm just going to put a few dimensionals back here. And I'm avoiding putting it on the ribbon so that I don't get a difference in the height of the piece. And because I know I want my sentiment to be around here, okay. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on this as well. So I will put dimensionals on this side of the paper, and I'll leave it blank, like no dimensional on the far left side, so that it doesn't accidentally get pushed up by my tree. Because I want it to lie flat and even as possible. All right, so I think that's pretty good. Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's pretty much the card. I think I could add like some little gold balls on here. What do you think? Or is that going to be too much? I don't know. I haven't used the silver very much. Okay. It's always like, oh, where do I put the where do I put these things and how many? But 3 is usually the magic number, although on a tree, whoops. Now, do I put it on the garland or not on the garland? I don't think I'm going to put it on the garland. 1. Okay, I think that's lots. Yeah, not on the garland, Sandra says. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, all right. So that's pretty much the card. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing on all the other card bases. And we'll see how they turn out. But I'm going to use the same idea. I might turn it sideways, so maybe I'll turn, you know, some of these would be sideways like this, but use the same idea, and then the sentiment would be across here. So really easy, you know. I think this is a fun way to make a whole batch of Christmas cards and use up a bunch of DSP that you really love and showcase it. I hope you guys, oh, Sandra's saying the red balls would look good. Yeah, I know, but you know what, look. Okay, so, you know what, I used up a lot of the red ones already, but yeah, I'm happy with the gold. It's fine, I like it. But yes, you can be creative, do whatever makes you happy and what you like. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys will make some cards with this design. And I would love to see some of your creations if you want to post them in the comments, if you use some of the different DSP to make your own. So have a great day, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're here in Ontario, Canada, and you're celebrating. Enjoy the weather, and I will see you next week. Bye!